What would you say to coaches who are feeling fear, seeing other
Fear,
coaches?
Seeing other coaches leaving the network suddenly and saying negative things
Yeah.
without saying anything necessarily specifically about other network marketing companies. What would you just say to other coaches?
So a coach comes up to me and they say, what's the deal? You've got six-figure earners leaving this business for this other business. And I would say, let me say what I said to a guy. I've told the story before. There was a guy who saw this dynamic. He'd been in the business for 6-7 years. He's making, he lost 60 pounds with P90X, drinks Shakeology every day, has another full-time job that was not going that well, and doesn't like his upline. Like doesn't get along with them, doesn't feel any sense of camaraderie. And so he, one of his best friends from high school or something, approached him from one of these other companies where the comp plan is tilted toward fast earnings early. And what people don't understand when they look at these companies that have fast earnings early is there's only so many cents in a dollar. So every dollar, how it gets split up is where the money's going to go. So if it's going all to the early people to get them hooked on the crack, you got to understand that there's less left over for the people who are now building their way up, because a lot of the dollars went to the new people to try to get them hooked on this. So anyway, talking to this guy, and he was going to leave, go with his friend, and let's say it was a beauty product, and so I got this phone call that this guy was going to leave, and it kept me up at night. I was like, God, it makes no sense to me that he would do this. What is he doing? Because he's going to have to work hard. And like all these things. So I got him on the phone and I said, let's call him Ray. And I said, Ray, I understand you're leaving, but can we compare these two opportunities so that we really understand what you're doing? Because on one hand, you've got this product that you believe in, that you've lost 60 pounds with. On the other hand, you have this thing you have never used before. You've told me that you're not so sure it's the real deal, and you've even told me that you don't think it's really good for people. You've told me how proud your son is and your wife is that you're doing this thing that helps people and that you're inspiring people with your results. And this other thing, you haven't even tried it yet. You don't believe in it yet. But it's got this friend of yours who you feel great. You went out for drinks and it was awesome and you'd love to work with him. But this one you don't feel it. But you're already making $500 with this and you've got a team. What are you saying to your team about their leadership over here where you've already got traction, you're already making $500, and you're going to leave for this other new thing? How are they going to feel? You're just as bad as your upline. So which do you want to be? Do you want to start over with this thing you don't believe in, this thing you don't understand? And believe me, there's no vacuum for success. I have never seen a job that doesn't take work if you want to make 6 figures or 7 figures. It just doesn't exist. At least it doesn't exist for longer than a year or so until somebody comes in and cracks down on that stuff. Because I've never seen it. I mean, maybe you get a Mark Zuckerberg and he invents a Facebook and boom, there goes that thing. Okay, worked for him. But it just doesn't happen in network marketing. These businesses have to make money. They have to be cash flow appropriate. And I just say, so one of the things I would say is, look at the founders, look at the reputation of the founders, and how many companies have they buried in the last 10 years. That's one thing that usually gets people. They go, oh, I never thought of that. And then they find out that these people create, what they call them is, in the network marketing industry, they call them company of the quarter. I think that's what Jeff told me. Yeah, we call them company of the quarter. Next company is going to flare up, front-end loaded comp plan. A bunch of people come in, raid other companies that are more substantial and more mature and have a steadier, appropriately balanced comp plan. So the people who are so hungry for the profit, for the least amount of work, get attracted to that. they spend their money on bigger packages, so it's front-end loaded, so the people right above them that brought them in make this instant money, but then there you go. Now it's just a recruiting game. And that's why this industry has such a bad friggin' reputation, is because of that. So, what would I say to a coach after I went on and on like that? And they were like, what is the answer, Carl? Get to the point. I would say you gotta look at why are you in this?
Yeah.
And if you either want to do something substantial and understand that whether it's, look, let's use this crazy broad continuum of potential. You want to make really easy money? You could be a crack dealer or you could be a prostitute. But I promise you that among crack dealers and prostitutes, you still got to work hard against the other crack dealers and prostitutes. And I'm not saying anything bad, I'm just using the continuum. I'm truly not trying to say anything bad about other networks. My point is, every industry has competition. There's no free ride. And the second you expect it to be a free ride, you're just done. So you look at it and you go, you know what they say, find the thing you love and you'll never work a day in your life, right? That's something like that. So if they're in it for the right reason, so people say, and this sounds like such a CEO, this guy drives around in a limo thing to say. But I really believe it because of what I care about here is even if it's just me and Isabel and a few executives left, if we're the only ones left believing in it, as long as it's the thing I stand for, I'm really okay because I'll just rebuild it and I'm going to have the right people around me because I don't want the wrong people. It's like the analogy that I use in the group is imagine you're trying to create the greatest hospital in town, if not in the country. You want the greatest hospital, and you need to have 100 surgeons and doctors in that hospital who they're not worried about the volume of patients because it's a little bit pricier of a hospital. But when you go in there, you know you're getting the best care. Not everybody got an A in med school. I want the people that got an A in med school in my hospital, helping people really get results. But then I find out that this little faction of 10 doctors who want to run people through the office as fast as possible so that they can collect as many insurance claims or whatever, however doctors make money, they want to do it as fast as possible. I want them out of my hospital because I want the reputation as being the hospital that helps people get results. The people who are in there who are to just run people through challenge packs are going to hurt my brand and hurt the business, and their customers are going to be the ones posting on social media why I stopped Shakeology. I never got any help from my coach, which is going to soil it for everybody because we want to be the coaches that really help people. So part of what I would say is, if that's where that person's heart was, making 6 figures, if that's how committed they were to the mission, that now they're going to go sell soap, please. And we will help you.